So hello my dear friends, welcome back. Welcome to your channel Cooking Astrology. First of all, I would like to thank all of you for subscribing my channel and liking my videos. Thanks a lot. So let's continue our journey, our discussion of planets through Navamsa Chart in Vedic Astrology. And in this particular video, let's try to understand Mercury placement in the 8th house of your D9 chart and what are going to be the results that are particularly associated with this graha. Let's try to understand in this video. First of all, in order for you to understand the results which are associated with Mercury, you need to have the basic understandings with regards to this 8th house. 8th house of the D9 chart is actually the representation of any major setbacks that are going to be coming into your life. And after these major setbacks, what is the impact that is going to be happening into your life, whether it's in the positive or into the negative side, that part is particularly connected with the planet which is actually positioned in that house. 8th house is also the house where actually the effort and the energy that you are going to be investing at some place is actually not getting recognized in front of other people. And specifically in the D9 charts, it's actually connected with your own relationship aspect. It's the relationship aspect between two people, specifically between the husband and a wife. The karmic connectivity is found in such a way where the one person is always or constantly sitting on the giving end, like you keep on giving everything into the love aspect, where the other person contribution is actually going to be very less. And the reason why you are actually bound to do these kind of things, because whenever benefic grahas like Venus, even Mercury also, they are forming the connection with the 8th house, they are actually going to be sucking some portion of your energy in that house. And you are not doing that part out of a sense of enjoyment. You are doing that part out of a fear, because the reason I told you, this is the original house of the setbacks. It means if the benefics like Venus and Mercury, specifically Mercury, if it is occupying that house or if it is posited in the 8th house, and for example its dignity is not very strong, what is happening in the initial stages of your life, the kind of relationship which you are going to be going through, that actually have the capacity to embark a lot of setbacks and traumas into your life. Now, it's not necessary whether you are going to be receiving complete love from other people, but still the emptiness and void is actually going to be present up there. And because of that emptiness and the void which is present inside you in the later stages of the life, you people are contributing or doing more out of the fear of insecurity. Because benefic, they don't like to lose a relationship, specifically in the 8th house. In the Navamsa Kundli, if the planets are particularly posited in the sign of Scorpio and in the sign of Aquarius, these are the two zodiac signs which is also going to be representing the Drid karma, or the fixed karmas of the native is also going to be very, very high. And that is also the placement of the Mercury, where your marriage partner is also somewhat going to be predestined. Even the situations which you are going to be encountering with this Mercury placement in the initial stages of your life, these situations later on, specifically after the age of 32, because 32 is the maturity age of planet Mercury in your chart, actually have the capacity to bring major transformations into your life. Second important point, Mercury in the 8th house is also going to be giving full inclination into the path of spirituality. Now, when I'm using the word spirituality here, I'm not using the word extreme end of spirituality or where the person is actually going to be giving up everything. It's not a renunciation kind of a placement. Because one angle of the Mercury is going to be connected with Gemini, whereas the second angle of Mercury is connected with Virgo. And Virgo is actually the 6th element which represents your involvement and indulgence into the day-to-day activities of your life. So there are highly likely chances if you are going to be going for the spiritual part or the spiritual activity, it's not going to be helping you to experience the full level of spirituality into your life. Because I will tell you, it's going to be treating specifically benefics. The fear factor with regards to gaining financial security is actually going to be becoming the chief objective of Mercury after the age of 32. Because initially, whatever the kind of relationships, experiences that you are going to be going through into your life, in the later stages of the life, Mercury tend to have the capability to take a learnings from all that relationship aspect, and then this is going to be looking more towards the constructive point of view. And that is where benefics, specifically benefics, they are actually going to be treating or considering the financial security as the biggest and the chief aim and objective into the relationship part as well. Second important point, if the connection of Rahu and Ketu axis. If Rahu and Ketu, any of these planets, are actually forming connection with your Mercury in the 8th house, this is first of all going to be creating problems with regards to children, progeny part. I have seen many charts in my personal experiences also, where the affliction towards Mercury, specifically in the connection with Rahu and Ketu, and you also need to check the D1 chart here, but in most of the cases what is happening, there are going to be 4 kind of possibilities that are going to be present with this Mercury, specifically from children perspective. Okay, the first main part is going to be the children which are specifically obtained using IVF or through some C-section kind of a thing. Second, surrogacy sometime can also be seen with this part. Even child adoption can also be seen with this particular Mercury and Rahu, and even with Ketu. And even sometime you are bound to marry with someone who is already going to have one child with that person. But it's the Drid Karma, specifically the Rahu and Ketu. If they are posited into the 8th house, they are going to give you some sort of a Drid Karma or the fixed karma connected with that particular area of your life. And it's not necessary it's only going to be children. Most of the cases, you need to check the 2 zodiac signs of Mercury in the D1 chart initially. Like look where the sign of Gemini and the Virgo is posited in the D1 chart. If in the D1 chart, these 2 zodiac signs, they are connected with the money and wealth houses, it means you are bound to receive specifically the monetary aspect or monetary gains into your life after getting into relationship, after getting married. Now it's not necessary whether you are gaining love at the same time, but from the financial prospect point of view, this is going to be considered as a very great placement. Even if that Rahu and Mercury, they are forming any sort of a connection with the belief systems of the native, then this is actually going to be creating an extreme end of challenging situation with regards to the belief system between you and the other people. So the opinion difference part between the husband and the wife, that part is also going to be strongly connected with this Mercury. Because what is happening up there, I told you Mercury is going to be more financial eccentric Graha in that house. So maybe your mindset is actually derived in such a way, or it's governed because of your past life experiences, and you are gaining more and more attention towards the financial security. There are possibilities your partner is mind is not going to be shaped in such a way. And that is where the 2 different mentalities or the difference in the opinion part, that is also going to be firmly connected with this Mercury. You also need to here check specifically if the Mercury in the 8th house and the 2nd house axis, 2nd and 8th axis of the D9 chart, if the Mercury is preoccupied with many other planets, or there is some bulkiness posited into the 2nd and 8th axis of your Navamsha chart, or if Mercury is all alone. If this Mercury is all alone, like there is no any major planets that are in conjunction or influencing this Graha, it means there are not going to be any major amount of karmas that are going to be connected with this Graha. But on the other hand, for example, if you see the cluster of planets that are going to be connected with this Mercury, like Mercury is in conjunction with Saturn, Jupiter, and directly opposite, maybe Moon is also governing up there. So the more and the more planets that are going to be influencing the 2nd and 8th axis, it means because of family disturbances. And here I'm not only talking about one side of the family. 2nd and 8th axis in the Navamsha Kundli also represents what are the fruits, what is the Drid Karma, which is going to be connected between your in-laws, between your own family, and how after marriage your parents' karmas are going to be creating influence into your life. I have seen many charts where the 7th house is free from affliction, and most of the time the friction part is coming into the relationship is because of the planetary influences over this Graha. Specifically, if Mercury in the D1 chart, if it is connected with your 7th house of marriage, relationship, and these kind of a thing, or Mercury is in conjunction with the 7th house lord. 7th house lord again from the D1 chart, that is the house of your relationship aspect. Now what is going to be happening? It means there are going to be many other factors that are also going to be creating influence up there. And these influencing factors are not going to be positive here. Most of the time, more affliction to the positive grahas in the Navamsha Kundali represents there are going to be many other karmas which are getting attached, and these are the unnecessary karmas. And that is the reason when Mercury tend to get matured fully at the age of 32, and the Mercury is going to be having all the realization or what kind of a things I'm doing wrong from the past many time. What is happening, Mercury here is going to be changing the perspective. So the outlook of the Mercury is going to be completely changed here. Here Mercury is not actually running from the relationship, and Mercury is not a graha, okay, I will not like to get married and these kind of a thing. I told you it's not a renunciation. It's not like Mercury is giving up everything. One leg of the Mercury is going to be in the day-to-day life. It's a Grihastha Jivan also. But Mercury is going to be becoming more practical when it comes to the making relationship aspect. And my personal advice for you, if you are having this Mercury and you are watching this video, it's much better for you to actually get married specifically after the age of 32, or second important point, until and unless the career prospect of your life is not completely sorted, then I request you to not to engage into the relationship part. Because it's not only one single or one particular planet that have the capability to creating influencing factor into the marriage. Sometimes the career of the native that also have the capacity to create the positive angle. And specifically if the Mercury is forming connection with the 3rd house and even the 10th house, or specifically the 7th house and the 10th house, then these kind of results you are going to be seen into your life. Last angle of this Mercury is going to be connected with the spirituality part. Now, as I told you initially, Mercury is not going to be giving full-fledged into the spirituality, but Mercury is going to be here opposing the philosophies of other people. Like suppose you came up with some guru, or you listen to some spiritual guru and you tend to like, okay, worship, okay, he is the perfect spiritual guru. Mercury is not going to be having any fixed image of that spiritual gurus in their mind, because it's a ever changing belief system. Ever changing mean Buddha is it's a very fast moving graha. So if on one day the belief system of Mercury is going to be maybe fixated upon one guru, at the second day Mercury is going to be having fixated over the second guru as well. So it's actually going to be a ever changing kind of a belief system, and that is the reason also why the initial traumas, or even if you are having some toxicity which is coming from the family life into your own life, that have the capacity to influence your marriage and married life aspect. Because of this ever changing belief systems of the Buddha Graha, Mercury, these things or these past life traumas and these things, they even have the capability to bring the positive result. Most of the charts I have seen specifically where the many people, they will not be able to heal from their traumatic experiences, which is coming from their own family members, sometime through the other relationships as well. And these people, they tend to become very judgmental. Now, the positive side of Mercury is this angle actually, because Mercury have the capability to look into the parameters and the specifically this relationship part from every angle. Like if this part is not working, I will work on that part. If that is not working, I will go with that part. So that change of belief systems that I told you with the spiritual gurus as well, like they are going to be looking into the different set of philosophies. Suppose the 5 set of philosophies are coming into their life, and then they are going to be recalling that part. Like they are going to be having in their mind, they are processing all that information, and then they are reaching towards their final conclusion. And that is the practicality of the Mercury. I personally consider this Mercury in the 8th house as one of the best placements. Initially, I told you this is going to be creating problems, but into the longer duration of the time. By far, 80% of the time, Mercury have the capability to bless you with the extreme good results into your life. So I hope you have gained some deep insights in this video with me. If you are having any queries, any consultations with regards to your Mercury, any other planetary placement, so don't hesitate to get in touch with me over my email ID. If you require any marriage, career, business, spiritual consultation, do let me know. And make sure to subscribe my channel below. Make sure to hit the like button also. If you really enjoyed this video, you can send me super thanks also if you have gained some insights. And I'm going to be meeting you very, very soon in the next video. Till then, bye-bye and Hare Krishna.